that calls itself public. We all know that students are paying way too much money for tuition. We know that workers are working way too hard and are not getting benefits or paid enough, and that they have really bad working conditions. This is not okay. The UC is attacking all of us. The UC is a shared perpetrator of all of this violence being put on students as well as workers. So I'm so glad we're out here together to stand up to fight against the UC.
Woo!
As students, we need to recognize that workers are not invisible. Across all the UC campuses, the struggles of our staff members go unnoticed by students. The institution does not want us to dig deeper and find out how unfair workers are being treated. We need to show workers and union members that we do care about what they are going through. We cannot fight for student justice or any justice without fighting for labor justice. The workers at this university show us support, kindness, and compassion, and it is time we show them the same love and respect. We are here to fight for the workers and show solidarity. We will value your work now, and we will value you. We will value you, and we will value it until the end.
Yo personalmente esto me afecta porque mi madre, ella limpia oficinas y yo he mirado personalmente cómo afecta eso mentalmente y físicamente. Yo quedo en solidaridad con los trabajadores de limpieza y yo voy a pelear para que tengan los derechos que ocupan. Las condiciones en que ustedes están sometidos es muy mal y debería ser ilegal. No deben de estar sometidos a estos tipos de condiciones y los estudiantes de aquí y toda la universidad van a apoyarlos en cada momento.
Workers are people. Just because it isn't what you want to do doesn't make it any less valuable. People are not commodities. Workers are dehumanized by this university, and it is our job to show that we care for them and that we will rise with them.
Hello? Okay. Does anybody know Chance the Rapper's Blessings?
Yes.
Hey, okay, so we're gonna sing the song. It's a call and response. So I'm gonna say, we gonna rise up till it's one.
We gonna rise up till it's one.
People rise up.
Rise up.
The power falls down.
Power falls down.
People rise up.
People rise up.
Power falls down.
Power falls down.
They try to stop us, but we keep coming back.
They try to stop us, but we keep coming back.
And then you start all over again. Do you want to try it again? Okay. We gonna rise up till it's one.
We gonna rise up till it's one.
People rise up.
People rise up.
Power falls down.
The power falls down.
People rise up.
People rise up.
Power falls down.
The power falls
They
down.
try to stop us, but we keep coming back.
They try to stop us, but we keep coming back.
Hey, we're a student org on campus with Workers Student Solidarity Coalition. If you're interested, then later come up to either four of us. And, yeah. We'll have a sign-in sheet.
So now we're gonna do a chant. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
Vencido. Vencido.
Can we? No. Yeah? Okay.
Huh?
Woo! Workers Student Solidarity.
Yeah.
power?
What kind of power?
Union power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
Union power.
It's number 13, y'all. Dummy. Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
Union power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
Union power.
Hey everyone, so my name is Samad, I'm part of WIS, and I'm also just a student here. And the reason that I'm here is because I come from a working class family and I see how my parents get treated, and I see my parents in the faces of the people when I used to work here at the dorm. And I would see how the people who lived with me in the dorms just treated the place like it wasn't their home, which it was because we lived there. And I felt that the reason they did that was because they had someone to clean up after them. And I thought it was really disrespectful because you know what? These people aren't here just to serve us. They're people before they are a worker, and we have to remember that. Las personas están aquí para hacer su trabajo porque ellos necesitan ganar dinero para vivir en esta economía y esta sociedad capitalista, pero eso no significa que ellos no tengan derechos humanos primero antes de ser trabajadores. Solamente les quiero agradecer a los trabajadores por todo lo que hacen, porque ustedes sí son unos luchadores. Ustedes piensan que los estudiantes somos los luchadores, pero lo hacemos por ustedes, por nuestros padres, por todos los sacrificios que ustedes han hecho en su vida. Y solamente les quería agradecer a ustedes por hacer todo lo que hacen por nosotros. Toda esta resistencia que ven, todo este poder que ustedes que ven en los estudiantes, lo hemos aprendido de ustedes, de todo su trabajo que han hecho. Muchas gracias. So basically what I just said was like, a lot of the time parents think that like, students are so resilient, so powerful. Yes, we are, don't get me wrong. But at least personally, I learned all of that from my parents. I learned all of that from working class people. I learned all of that from people who never got to be in these classrooms that I'm in. You know, and like, I will never forget that my best or my education, first and foremost, comes from my community, and workers here are part of that community. You know, so like, I'm here because of them, for them, to provide a platform for them, so y'all get to hear them speak right now. So yeah, I just want you to think of why you're here, like in this circle, but also think about that when you're out there doing your daily life, or you know, think about the workers and like what that means to you as a student here at UC Santa Cruz.
Thanks for coming, everybody. Damn it, Janice.
Damn it.
Rosie Power, Vice President for Organizing for UCAFT, that represents about 5,000 lecturers and librarians in the UC system. Today marks the opening arguments for Janice versus AFSCME, the Supreme Court case. Mark, Janice, and the National Right to Work Foundation are contesting public sector unions' rights to collect the fair share agency fee because they think it funds political activities. They're part of a years-long movement called Right to Work. The Right to Work folks say they are pro-worker, but they're funded by the wealthiest corporate donors like the Koch brothers, who have been waging a long-term campaign to dismantle unions, because unions are the only thing between them having a completely at-will workforce where they can pay anything they want and eliminate the power of collective bargaining.
That ain't right.
Walmart Nation.
Boo!
Right to Work folks think that everything unions do is political, and it's not their politics. So collection of fair share fees is a violation, they say, of free speech. In the Citizens United case a few years ago, money was defined as free speech, thus giving rich corporations and donors unlimited ability to donate to campaigns and tilting elections even further in their favor, as we've seen in recent elections, right? They're using this argument that money is free speech to contest fair share fees, and they're really just attacking the collective bargaining process, because we have power when we're collective as opposed to trying to negotiate individually with our bosses, right? Okay, so collective bargaining has been around since the Great Depression, and the wealthiest and whitest Americans have been attacking it ever since. This new assault is being spearheaded by the State Policy Network, an alliance of 66 state-based think tanks with a combined annual budget of $80 million. Their president and CEO describes their breakthrough campaign as a once-in-a-lifetime chance to reverse the failed policies of the American left. He says, "We are primed right now to deliver the mortal blow to permanently break its stranglehold on our society. Big government unions are the biggest sources of funding and political muscle for the left, so the battle for the future of this country really is the battle for unions, and that's why we're here today. So give it up for all the union members and all the students and all the workers supporting you."
Woo!
Workers won fair share in 2001. Fair share, also called agency fee, entails non-members paying their fair share for union benefits of a union contract. Janus, the case that's happening right as we speak, is trying to make fair share fees illegal. Legally, unions have to represent anyone in the bargaining unit, no matter what the cost, no matter whether the person is a member, no matter whether they are hostile to unions. Currently, non-members who still receive all the benefits of the contract pay fair share for those benefits like healthy raises, protection against arbitrary job loss, retirement, insurance benefits, a fair review process, and much more. It's been calculated that for lecturers anyway, this monthly cost is a small percentage of the total wage increases over the years. With the Janus case, all public sector unions, which are disproportionately public education unions, are likely to lose. But this case is not about protecting workers' rights, like the right to work folks would have us believe. That's like Orwell saying, "Love is hate and war is peace." It's really about protecting employers' right to exploit workers as much as they please, to maximize their profit by suppressing wages and job security. So most unions will take at least a 30% cut. The union I belong to will probably more than 50% because we have a revolving workforce. I can tell you more about that later, but this is about all of us. So there's going to be lots of layoffs. This is a very dire situation. We've got to rise up together, be strong. This is an opportunity to build a grassroots movement of supporters of unions, even if we lose most of our staff because we lose most of our funding. So it is an opportunity, but it's going to be rough. So we've got to keep our voices loud and continuous for the university to hear it, that we won't be broken no matter what the Janus decision is. Okay? Cutting to the chase, because you don't need a lecture from me. We just have to fight, right? Are you ready to fight? Damn!
Woo!
Damn right. Are you ready to fight?
Damn right!
Ready to fight?
Damn right!
Ready to fight?
Damn
Are
right!
you ready to fight?
Damn right! Woo!
Okay, so Becky and Nico are going to be speaking from AFSCME now, if you could give them your attention. Woo!
Woo!
Well, you guys heard a little bit about the Janus versus AFSCME, but you know what though? Today, during this time, it's not just about the contract fight. Yes, UC doesn't want to give us anything. Yes, they want to hire our benefits. Yes, they want to get rid of our pension. You guys probably heard a lot about that. But it's not just about that. It's also about the students who are here today. It's about them. It's about us being able to have enough staff to do a good, decent job for them. It's about them, UC not hiring the tuition, UC not hiring the rent. I've always said that what affects a worker will affect the student. If students start looking elsewhere for their education because the UC system's getting too expensive, guess who suffers? Students. Sorry. Workers. Sorry. I did that on purpose. I want to catch your attention. Yeah. So, workers suffer, right, if students decide to go elsewhere for their education. So we can't allow that. We need to stick together. We need to fight. It's, workers and students together. And what affects a worker, if we're understaffed and they're not bringing more people in and they're telling us, do what you can. Do what you can isn't good enough for you students. You guys pay way too much money for us to be doing what we can. You guys got to make sure there's enough people in the dining halls feeding you, that there's enough custodians cleaning your guys' bathrooms, there's enough grounds people taking care of the grounds outside, maintenance workers, shuttle bus drivers, everybody. It goes all across to everybody. We're all understaffed, and not just UC Santa Cruz. UC seems to be doing this in the whole system. It's across the state. Every campus I go to, every medical center, it's the same complaint. It seems to be that this is the new UC. Under the Regents and Napolitano, they just want your money. They're just greedy, and they're not doing the right thing, and we need to stay together. We had a meeting on Friday. I'm not going to say what it was about, but someone said it's about time that students and workers get together and fight. You guys fight for decreased tuition and decreased rents, and we need to fight for staffing to make sure that we do a hell of a job for you guys. Yes, so we need to keep doing this. We need to keep escalating, and we need to show UC who really has the power. They have the money, but we have the students and we have the workers. And we have workers across the state. This is how we're going to win, being united and keep fighting together. Thank you.
Good morning, brothers and sisters and students. Thank you for taking the time and coming out to a very important rally. As you all heard earlier, Janus versus AFSCME, this is something that a lot of unions in the public sector are going to be affected, unfortunately, and this is all corporate entities. This is the corporations that don't know how to attack us. They want to attack us at the Supreme Court. The sadly about all this is that all these corporate entities want more for them and less for us. Okay? Yeah. So we're all impacted because one day you as students are going to go into the workforce, and you're going to realize how difficult it is to go and challenge a corporate, because they're all about money and they're all about profit. So let's hope sometime in June, when the verdict comes in, that AFSCME takes Janus down the hole, because we don't need this. We don't need this because people like yourself and myself are going to be impacted if this wins. So, my name is Becky, and I'm with AFSCME Local 3299. We represent.
Thank you. Can you also take some pictures of us? Thank you.
99!
We represent 24,000 frontline service workers here at the university, as well as through the campuses and the hospitals. They range from x-ray techs to nursing assistants to custodians, groundskeepers, bus drivers, and the list goes on. Our union is about 85% of people of color, immigrants, and women, and we are proud as a diversity group of workers servicing students. As a diverse group of workers, we see firsthand the transformation of Dr. King and our AFSCME brothers and sisters who fought for years ago is far from complete. So we put forth a number of demands to address ongoing issues and inclusions and fair treatment here at the university straight across the state. The portion of AFSCME 3299 members who identify as African Americans has declined 18%. 12% in the last 15 years. At the bargaining table, we've asked UC to help preserve this trend and implement a ban that blocks procedures in its hiring process and committing to hiring local applicants so that everyone gets a fair chance to work here at UC. The UC has not addressed any of our demands. I met with Mark Stone just a couple of weeks ago, and I just said, UC is this campus here is one of the biggest employers in this community. And sadly to say, career workers are not being replaced when they retire. Career workers are not being replaced when they get terminated. What's going on? I demanded Mark Stone to demand an investigation, because it's sadly to say this is the biggest employer, and our numbers in the dining hall for 275 career workers are now down to about 125. What's wrong with that picture? Shame. So,
There was an investigation report revealing how common sexual assault is among workers in the jobs category of AFSCME 3299. We're asking UC to protect workers from abuse managers by implementing strong grievance procedures for sexual harassment. UC is refusing to bargain in good faith with that. So, brothers and sisters, I ask you to join together with all the other unions on campus. Because this is about justice, and this is about your future. This is about our opportunity to have a contract with language that protects you, your family, and also the students. Now, we allow the UC system to get away with this because they're waiting for Janice versus AFSCME to make a conclusion whether they're going to sit and bargain with us. We're in a bad shape. We need to show them that we're going to fight until we win. And we're going to have to shut this place down. We will. But it's going to take all of us to stay together and unify with AFSCME, AFSCME. Every other union on campus statewide has to stay together because this is a fight for our future. ¿Sí se puede? ¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede! Thank you.
Okay, going off of what was just said, I want to raise attention to a specific issue right now of harassment of workers going on at campus. At the Porter Dining Hall right now, they're totally understaffed. Not only are they understaffed, but there are 2 managers there who are harassing workers. Workers have met with the labor relations people and shared terrible stories about how the managers are treating them. Managers are clocking them while they're in the bathroom. Managers are not letting them take their 15-minute breaks. Managers are exploiting and taking advantage of workers. They're yelling at them. They're not treating them as humans or people. This is not acceptable.
Shame.
We need to come together and make it so that these managers are no longer managers. They should not be managers at this university if they're treating workers like that.
Woo!
These managers have a history of treating workers like that at other dining halls. And do you know what labor relations did? They moved them to a different dining hall. Does that solve the problem?
No.
So what we need to do is work together and join with students and workers and fight for things like this, because workers should not have to deal with harassment and dehumanization by their managers. And I want to bring attention also to the fact that oftentimes these managers are white people and that there is a huge racial dynamic here. A lot of the workers, AFSCME workers for instance, are majority POC, people of color. So here there is a huge amount of dehumanization through racialization. We need to be aware of this and make sure that together as we're rising for labor justice, we're also rising for racial justice.
Woo!
All right, you guys ready to sing? Let's get our energy up. Woo, turn to page 6 in the hymnal, the St. Mary's hymnal. It's our songbook. While you're turning there, I just want to say that today's rigged economy disproportionately hurts women and people of color. The stereotypical image of a work or the right to work folks tends to circulate is a white male manual laborer or coal miner, a Trump supporter. Across our country, more than half of African Americans and almost 60% of Latinx workers are paid less than $15 an hour. When Latinx folks are members of a union, their wages rise more than 38% and are 41% more likely to have employer-provided health insurance. More than 3 in 5 people in this country support unions. We got to get on the bus, the union bus. You ready to sing a song? This is an old timey song by the Who, and I'll try to sing. Nina, she's got the voice here. Magic bus. I'll try to do this, but you just follow along. Ready? Our jobs are precarious, our benefits good. Too much
magic bus.
Gotta get on the bus and talk to you.
Too much magic bus.
Undergraduates need us, that's a fact. Too much magic bus. We need a new contract, time to act. Too much magic bus. I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. They want temp workers to teach all class. Too much
Magic bus.
University incorporated, kiss my ass.
Too much magic bus.
Administrators, they got plans.
Too much.
Too much. I'll be a student for the few or go for the many.
Too much.
Too much. I want it. I want it. I want it. I want it. I want my tuition paid for college. Too much. Magic bus. A life or death for all this knowledge.
Too much magic bus.
Classes are huge at Santa Cruz.
Too much magic bus.
There are other schools that I could choose.
Too much magic bus.
I want it.
I want it. I want it. I want it.
Our contract's up. Let's confess.
Too much magic bus.
Don't throw burgers under the bus.
Too much magic bus.
You want good teeth, then don't turn on.
Too much magic bus.
Get a fair shake, gotta get on the bus.
Too much magic bus.
I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. Too much
Magic bus.
too much magic bus. Too much magic bus. Too much magic bus.
Kevin drives the magic bus. Where are you, Kevin?
Hi, everyone. My name is Aisha. I'm from SJP, Students for Justice in Palestine.
Okay, y'all, so I'm not sure if you all came out to our February 1st picket for Ask Me. Who came out? Woo! Dope. Okay, thanks for coming out again, and thanks to all of you who are showing up today. That's awesome. Keep doing it. So I want to raise awareness to something that happened on February 1st at UC Berkeley. An Ask Me worker by the name of David Cole was harassed, was totally brutalized, thrown down on the concrete. His glasses were broken and he had to go to the hospital to get stitches. This was by UCPD. I like your sign. Justice for David Cole. And so what's really important to bring to attention here is students were marching with workers off campus, and there was a woman driving a car, and she was trying to drive the car into protesters. David Cole helped stop the car from driving it into the students. David Cole has been charged with vandalism as well as resisting arrest. However, the charge for resisting arrest has been dropped, but he's still being charged with vandalism. This is unacceptable. UCPD should not be brutalizing workers or students or anyone like this. We need to get rid of UCPD. That's the only option I see here. We need to make sure that David Cole has his charges dropped. And what the UC is telling us is that the woman who was driving the car is the person who needs to make sure that the charges are dropped, because she's the one who's charging him through UCPD for this vandalism of the car, which likely a student did. He didn't do. He was singled out because he is black. The amount of anti-blackness that UCPD, as well as just all over the world, is fucking wrong. So I just wanted to bring awareness to David Cole, who he is. He's an AFSCME worker at UC Berkeley. So that's just some context for what Aisha's about to talk about on behalf of SJP.
Again, this is a statement from SJP. We demand a sanctuary campus divestment from immoral investments that oppress people globally, like Israel. We need a demilitarized university abolishing UCPD that does nothing but cause fear and harm on all campuses. We stand in support of David Cole, a black AFSCME member that was targeted by UCP, and we stand in solidarity with him as well as all the other targeted people that are being brutalized and by militarization. So, yeah. Free Palestine and the apartheid.
Y'all know that UC invests in Israel?
Oh yeah.
That's fucked up. We need to divest.
Not to mention nuclear weapons.
Nuclear weapons. Fossil fuels. The UC is attached to so many corporations that are creating so much violence and hurting so many people.
Shame.
Okay, so I also wanted to mention that labor justice is tied to many things. We've been talking about racial justice, gender justice. Labor justice is also tied to housing justice. That is a huge issue here in Santa Cruz as well as all over the place. So right now we're going to hear about housing justice and how important it is and how it is connected, deeply connected to labor justice.
Woo!
Hi. Am I doing this right? I think so. Here? Okay, thank you. First time. Hi, I'm Viveka Jagadisan. I'm a UC alum. I was at SJP at UC Berkeley. Nice to be here. Thank you all for being here. Here to talk to you about housing justice. I'm with the Rent Control campaign here in Santa Cruz. We're working to create protections so that workers and students aren't further displaced from this community and have to live farther and farther away, are able to live here and have eviction protection so y'all can't be evicted for no reason. Please come and sign the petition. We're going to have clipboards, 4 of us over there after this rally. Thank you all for being here.
Woo!
Union power is on the rise. Now's the time to organize.
Power's on the rise. Now it's time to organize. Power's on the rise. Now it's time to organize. It's on the rise. Now it's time to organize.
How about another old-timey song, Beatles, on page 3. Like to say for Carrie's hymnal. Every February, late February, we've been having St. Presbyterian's Day, which is sort of Presbyterian now, Presbyterian proletariat. And this is a song for the students, Carry That Debt. And then we'll hear from the librarians who are going into bargaining right now. Okay, so, you guys ready? Carry That Debt, page 3. I think I might need you, Nina. You never give me your money. You only give me your crowded classrooms. And
In the middle of negotiations, lay down.
I
Never give you my story. I only give you your expectations.
And in the middle of such
Obligations, I break down.
our college
It's
money
all to
spent.
spend, see no future, higher rent.
All the
It's
jobs
all
are gone. Not a graduate,
stuck
stuck
with
with
debt.
debt. Go
In
to
grad school, what the heck? What's another $100,000?
But oh, that precarious feeling, nowhere to go. Oh, that precarious feeling, nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. You're gonna carry that debt, carry that debt a long time. Oh, you're gonna carry that debt, carry that debt a long time. Oh, you're gonna carry that debt, carry that debt a long time. Oh, you're gonna carry that debt, carry that debt a long time. Unless we do something about it.
Woo!
Rise up and demand they do not increase your tuition. Let's face it, it's not really fees, it's tuition now. All right, students in support of librarians. We love librarians. Give it up for Ken Lyons.
Woo!
Excited about their bargaining.
I've got a little.
So I've got a little stuff to read to you here. We're going to talk about how things have changed in the last few years for the libraries and librarians, not just here at UCSC, but across the UC system. So on the UCSC campus website, this is 5 years ago, here's what they have to say about the libraries. UCSC's libraries are at the heart of the university. The library staff, this is 5 years ago, the library staff are eager to offer assistance at any of several service points. At the reference desks in both libraries, keep that in mind, reference librarians give individual guidance, general orientation for the newcomer, and specialized help for the researcher. Librarians also offer group instruction, orientation sessions at the beginning of each quarter, library research workshops, and upon request, specialized instruction to classes in all disciplines. So that's a pretty comprehensive program. This is what the current website has to say about those types of services. The Ask a Librarian service, this is in its entirety. The Ask a Librarian service provides expert in-person and online research assistance. Now you know what that means? Yeah. That translates into, we used to have 120 hours of reference service where you could come to either library, science and engineering, or McHenry, and get help in person at the reference desk 5 years ago. That's been reduced so that there's no reference desk anymore at the science and engineering library. And the total amount of time you can get in-person reference help at McHenry is not 120 hours, it's 20 hours a week. 1 to 5, Monday through Friday. That's it. And there are a lot of other things that have gone on in that time. We used to, Dion can tell you, we used to have a comprehensive program of library research instruction where all the writing and core courses, you guys would come into the library and get an hour session from a librarian to help you get started with your research. Gone. There's no more of that. For the last 5 years, it doesn't exist. So what's happening here is that UC librarians, at UCSC it's even worse, but these numbers are down across the whole UC system. And what is happening is that UC librarians are being marginalized, and that means that the services that you need to succeed as students and to succeed as faculty are being marginalized as well. This is all part of the same thing that has been talked about by these other brothers and sisters up here, that what's happening at this campus and at UC is what's happening in society. This Supreme Court case, this Janus case, they're trying to make sure that they marginalize all workers. So we better get together, students, faculty, librarians, workers across campus, and fight against this. The librarians, and I've got more to say, but I'll talk about that another time. But librarians will be negotiating a new contract for the first time in 5 years. We're going to start in another couple of months. We'll be out here talking to you about how UC has mistreated its librarians over the last few years and reduced our numbers. So we are going to expect to get your support as we support you. All right? So let's fight against this top to bottom injustice that's going on. And we'll see you out here. Thank you.
Woo!
Thanks so much for speaking and sharing what's going on with librarians. This is all really important that, just like you said, workers and students need to come together and join each other for these fights for contracts, as well as just fighting for basic dignity for workers and students.
Woo!
I want to introduce to you all Mecha. And so Mecha's going to be saying a few words about labor justice and why it's important to them. Here you all are.
Woo!
es Oscar y ella es Elisa. Somos parte de MECHA, que es una organización política aquí para los estudiantes Chicanx Latinx. Antes de leer nuestro testamento, before reading our statement, we just want to do a unity clap. A unity clap was something that began in the 1960s between the Mexican American, and the Filipinx farm workers. They came together to fight for fair wages and human rights working conditions in the farm, the farm worker labor. So that was happening. However, there was a language barrier between Spanish, English, and Tagalog, and so they came up with the unity clap. The unity clap is the clap in which we're going to start clapping very slowly, and then we're going to proceed and get just faster and faster. And then at the end, there's going to be one big clap. And at the end, we say isang bagsak, which translates into Tagalog in one fall, one down, meaning that if we fall, if one of us fall, we all fall down. If workers fall, all students are going to fall down as well. So that's why we got to fight together. So we're going to start the unity clap right now. Follow me.
Hi everyone. So my name's Elisa. I just want to thank y'all for letting us speak to y'all and giving us the space to do so. I just want to thank y'all for having us here and for giving us this space. I just want to read the statement from MECHA right now. We, el Movimiento Estudiantil Chicanx de Aztlán de UC Santa Cruz, a student-run and student-led organization committed to the advancement and civil rights of the Chicanx and Latinx community, strive for the educational, gender, cultural, sexual orientation, economic, political, racial, and social equity of the community, and who oppose hateful rhetoric, actions, and oppression, write this open statement in support of the UC workers and AFSCME in light of today's court case, Janus versus AFSCME. Throughout history, the victories as workers have come from being a united front, such as the Wagner Act, which authorized the National Labor Relations Board to assure fairness in union elections and during collective bargaining with employers. This law tilted the playing field significantly in labor's favor, prompting a huge unionization drive throughout the late 1930s. However, throughout history, there were also obstacles that purposely destabilized unions, like the Reagan era, in which many unions were purposely sabotaged, and these have had long-term effects that are still visible today. The U.S. today ranks near the bottom among developed nations in terms of union membership. Only about 10% of U.S. workers are part of a union as of 2013, meaning that only a fraction of Americans are organized to negotiate their wages or benefits with employers. That is why today is such an important day, because once again, unions are in threat of being destabilized by this capitalist system that is against the united front.
Moo.
The decision is not completely up to the Supreme Court. The decision is also ours as students, as workers, as people of this society. We have the power to organize, to unite, to stand in solidarity with one another and fight for what is ours. Fight for a living wage, fight for pensions, fight for medical health care, and fight for what is our right. As students, we benefit from the labor that workers do, and we thank you. But our gratitude has to go way beyond that. MECHA, the UCSC, stands in solidarity with workers. We will support you all, and we will work with you all, and we will organize with you all. Thank you.
Wow, that was a really powerful statement, y'all. So I think we're gonna do some more chants right now. UC, you're no good. Treat your workers like you should.
UC, you're no good. Treat your workers like you should. UC, you're no good. Treat your workers like you should. UC, you're no good. Treat your workers like you should. UC, you're no good. Treat your workers like you should.
UC, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should.
UC, you're no good.
Treat your workers like you should.
We're number one now. 0% won't pay the rent.
pay the rent.
0%.
We'll pay the rent.
0%.
We'll pay the rent.
0%.
Hold it.
We'll pay the rent.
Oh yeah, thank you.
So that's a 0% wage increase, y'all. It's not gonna pay the rent. It already can't even pay the rent. How many people can actually pay the rent? Not many of us. So this is super important. I wanted to
Thank you so
ask
much.
if the SUA president could speak right now. Okay.
Woo!
Hi everyone, how are you doing? Thank you for being here today. My name is Max. I'm the Student Union Assembly President. I don't know if y'all know, but as students, y'all pay $8 every quarter to be a part of this union. So this is a real thing. I just want to talk a little bit about the really bad sign I made here. It has a lot of words because I couldn't really contain myself. So I don't know if y'all know, but yeah, thank you so much. So the UC Office of the President hit $175 million, and I don't know what happened to it. Where did that go? I'm not really sure. And the UC Regents right now are voting on a 2.5% tuition hike plus a 0.5% increase on student fees. And that's happening in May. So I want to take y'all over there, so people look out for that. I want to take UCSC students over there and protest the Regents. In April, the UC Regents are voting on a 3.5% tuition hike for out-of-state students. So now, Blumenthal says that we're accepting 10,000 more students by 2040 when there hasn't been any major development since 2003. So how are they accommodating to students, to workers, to faculty, to staff? I'm not really sure, but you know what? Administrators are getting paid 6 figures. And the chancellor's got a 3% increase in their pay as well. In case y'all didn't know about that. So I just want to know, I'm really just asking for a friend, where is my money going to right now? Because I don't know, because workers are understaffed, and I'm paying how much money? I don't even want to think about how much debt I'm in right now. So where's my money going to? Why are workers overworked, understaffed, underpaid? Why are students under-resourced? Why are students living in dorms, in lounges that have been converted into 4 people dorm rooms? Yeah, and so I'm just so frustrated because all they're doing over there is being comfortable. We paid for their clothes, I'm pretty sure. If they have kids, we probably paid for their food. We made them, and you know what they care about the most? How we look like to donors and to corporations who will donate dirty money to us. All they care about is how we look like from the outside, but once we get here, they don't really care about us because they already got our money.
That's right.
We're already, you know when y'all, for people who need financial aid, if there's a war, everyone who signed that financial aid and signed it to your FAFSA, you're automatically drafted into the war, in case y'all didn't know about that. Yeah, so there are a lot of things that they don't want us to know about, but thank you so much for showing up. We gotta be as present as possible with one another and be angry. Be angry. There's a lot of things to be angry about, but the best thing we can do is protect each other, be there for one another, and never stop fighting. So thank you so much for showing up.
Thank you so much, Max, for speaking. That was super inspirational. I love you. Hey, hey, ho, ho, UC Green has got to go. Hey, hey,
ho, ho, UC Green has got to go. Hey, ho, ho, UC Green has got to go. Hey, ho, ho, UC Green has got to go. Hey, ho ho. UC Green has got to go. Hey, hey, ho ho. UC Green has got to go. Hey, ho ho. UC Green has got to go. Hey, ho ho. UC Green has got to go. Ho ho. UC Green has got to go.
All right, I want to thank everyone for coming out today. I'm an electrician with physical plant, and I work under skilled craft under AFSCME. We're a small unit, we're about 15, and we keep the water and the electricity and the gas flowing up here.
Woo!
Yeah, and same to the students. Thanks for showing up today. We all need to stick together. And we just got to impasse. I'm just giving a quick update where we're at with bargaining. And we just got to impasse, and they're going to do fact finding. And we've been at it for about 5 or 6 months. So we're right behind service, and hopefully we're all going to line up to make something happen here. Thanks for showing up.
Woo!
Solidarity with all unions. Well, actually, yes, Mike can introduce himself, but I'd just like to say a few words of appreciation for Mike Rotkin.
Yeah.
Many-time mayor of Santa Cruz, first president of